Okay, so if you've been in this community for a little bit, then you probably heard of one particular phrase which kind of gets uttered around, which is Genshin Killer. Now, obviously, Genshin Impact is such a massive game, and it's been one of the most successful gacha games ever. And this obviously, sparked a ton of people to come over to the game and say, hey, this one's going to be the Genshin Killer. This one's going to be the Genshin Killer. We had like Tower of Fantasy, which again just never ended up being it. We had Wuthering Waves a little bit as well, which again, I just don't think it is. I feel like the games are kind of different to the point where it can't really be the Genshin Killer. But again, this was a kind of thing that went around the community because people really wanted it to be dethroned, but it's still yet to, because let's be real, Genshin Impact was in the right place at the right time, and they just managed to get a really, really good profit off of a really, really good idea. But it seems like recently there's actually been some news of a new gacha game coming out, which could rival Genshin Impact, and is not just like any random game from like China or something where they're like, oh, this really indie game's gonna beat Genshin Impact because it has like one combat mechanic. No, this is actually news coming from Riot Games, and they say Riot Games apparently is making a new action RPG game similar to Genshin Impact, which again is going to be very, very exciting. Now, this article didn't really go too much into detail about it, and I actually found another article talking a little bit more, so we'll get into that. But yeah, they say that they're going to be making a new action-based RPG based off of League of Legends, which again is going to be very exciting. Obviously, League of Legends has been a really big topic recently, obviously with Arcane going on. We've got like Worlds, stuff like that, which happened recently. And also we got some other stuff as well going on around it. Obviously, we got the new fighting game that they've recently released as well, which has been really, really good. So, Riot Games has been definitely stepping up their game. And if you guys don't know, Riot Games is owned 100% by Tencent, which, who just recently acquired a big share in Wuthering Waves as well. So it seems like Tencent are definitely coming for Mihoyo or Hoyoverse at the moment, which again is absolutely crazy to see. Now, obviously, if we go to this article, they say Riot Games are developing a new gacha RPG that could rival Genshin Impact, and they go into a little bit more detail of why this is the case and why this is actually happening. They say Riot Games is developing a new third-person action RPG with roguelike elements, seasonal updates, crafting, and stuff like that, similar to Genshin Impact. Riot Games is currently working on a new project which might be the next great global success for the publisher, a third-person action RPG. Again, they're just repeating that. I don't know why they did that, but they say this ambitious game, which will have a mobile version, is shaping up to be a major addition to Riot's growing lineup of games. While the project itself has been teased for a while, it's only lately that any kind of serious light has been shed on its development, and the game is presently under development at Riot Shanghai. So this is being developed over in China, which again, to be honest, it's probably one of the best places. I feel like a lot of the best gacha games do get cooked up over in China. Obviously, Wuthering Waves, I think Genshin Impact was originally made in China, stuff like that. So again, that's great to see. They say a studio for research and development focused on new experiences in gaming, and they say a recent job listing for the studio have actually let slip some exciting possibilities and confirm that the game is targeting a global audience. What makes this even more intriguing is setting in the Runeterra universe, the same universe as League of Legends. Champions and characters will include some of familiar faces that were a part of Arcane. So it seems like we're going to see a lot of the League of Legends characters actually coming to this game and being in it. I don't know if they're going to be pullable or if they're just going to feature as like some kind of like NPC kind of characters, and then you can pull for like new characters that have come out that interact with some of these older characters. I don't know, it'd be very interesting to see. Obviously, a lot of gacha games do follow a certain IP. Obviously, we've had some that are based off of anime, we've had some that are based off of some other stuff. Don't really do that well. I'd say like Solo Leveling was like the exception, but even that isn't doing great at the moment. But usually it doesn't do that amazing if it's tied to a certain brand or a certain IP. But maybe League of Legends can turn that around, because obviously, Riot Games could work very hard on this and make it work. And I'm not saying it can't work, but previously it hasn't worked. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. And they say this new RPG is referred to as a hero collecting game, which suggests that players will be able to collect and upgrade characters, which again, just like Genshin Impact, obviously. And they say the gameplay will probably be based on a combination of exploration, narrative-driven quests, and dynamic combat systems, much like the successful formula of Genshin Impact. While specific details have not been declared, players will also be able to expect a beautiful open world environment deeply entrenched in the lore of Runeterra. That would be really exciting to see. Obviously, Runeterra has quite a lot of different regions and stuff, which are very different, and it would be very, nice to see if they could make a kind of like contrast, a bit like, Wuthering Waves have done, bit like Genshin have done, a bit like a lot of these places have done, where you go from region to region. I still think that formula is quite new and fresh, and I feel like, it is a good idea for them to do that, but, we'll have to wait and see if that actually, comes into fruition. And they say the inclusion of gacha mechanics presumes that there will be a key character collection and progression, a chance to get champions through normal gameplay or by special events. Now, obviously, they have this like video which came up of this person talking about it. They actually have like a screenshot of some of the stuff that's coming out. They had a screenshot of the job listing somewhere. Here it is. So they got principal, environment, concept artist, Riot Discovery, Shanghai, China. So again, it seems like they are kind of, recruiting a lot of these people. And they say in that light, Riot has actually shown the ability to expand outside of League of Legends with more popular titles like Valorant, Legends of Runeterra, and also Teamfight Tactics. It might be the next milestone to let fans enjoy the world of Runeterra in a completely different way. With a focus on storytelling, seasonal updates, and cross-platform capabilities, enabling to play on both PC and mobile, it certainly stands among the stronger competitors in the gacha RPG space, which that's a bit of a weird comment there. I feel like a lot of some of the big gacha games, at least, have a lot of cross-play, capabilities. Now, obviously, some of them are mobile only. Some of them, if it is on PC or if it is on PlayStation or something like that, usually it is cross-play, and the development team do, kind of find a way to make it crossplay. But if it's just on mobile, then it probably will just be on mobile. So I don't think having crossplay between any of these platforms is anything that special in particular. But hey, it is exciting to see that that will happen. Now they say, while many major details are not currently known, the ambition on the part of Riot for this project is definitely quite large. Both League of Legends fans and lovers of the gacha RPG genre will want to follow this into further development. If Riot executes on these gameplay interactions, a deeper storyline, and Runeterra themed content as it promises to do, this game would easily head in the race among the highly looked for release slots in the time very near. Now, obviously, yeah, we've got a lot of new gacha games coming out soon. Obviously, for example, we have Ananta, which looks absolutely amazing. So I feel like, it would be kind of competing with that if it came out anytime soon. I don't know if it's actually coming out soon though, because this is just a job listing, so it feels like they are still working and it's still very early in development. We haven't really heard about many games that are coming out like later down the line. Obviously, we've got stuff like Enfield, which is supposed to come out in like August, but I feel like, again, that's still a little bit soon. So it will be interesting to see what kind of new gacha games do compete with this and whether people actually do go over. If it comes out, I definitely will try it because, it's Riot Games. I have played a lot of League, I've played a lot of Valorant, stuff like that. So it's going to be very interesting to me to see, what is going on in that game and how they've done anything different, or if it's just another kind of game that has tried to copy Genshin. Now, is this going to be the Genshin killer? Obviously not. Who cares? I think this kind of term is dead. Obviously, I talked about it in the beginning. It's a little bit of a dead term now. Obviously, Genshin Impact is still doing absolutely amazing with the 100 million that they made. Apparently, this is based on, that weird chart, which probably I feel like is a little bit doctored, but hey, I don't really cover that stuff anymore. But it is very exciting to see that League of Legends is being mentioned and they are planning on making a gacha game like this. Obviously, maybe you add a little bit more to the lore of the game. Obviously, I know a lot of people don't really know much about the lore of the game, and I think Arcane and stuff has really helped with that. But maybe this gacha game and a lot of quests to do with this kind of whole story might actually help people get a little bit more immersed in the League world. And yeah, honestly, I think it is a very good move from Riot, and I would love to see how they could actually cook with this. But overall, really, really good idea. Maybe, it will compete with Genshin Impact in the future. We'll have to wait and see. Let me know down in the comments if you guys are excited for this. Will you play a game that is made by Riot Games that is similar to Genshin Impact? Because I feel like, it could be a pretty interesting, kind of thing that would happen. And it's just going to be really interesting to see what happens whenever it does actually release. But hey, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also go to GameStop, use my code KAZA, get 10% off. And again, very, very exciting news, and I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.